Hallelujah. So do we have any requests today at all? Seriously?
I said wherever hurts you, that will do.
Oh,
Yes, Lord, yes.
That's me.
Well, neck is always good.
well, my right
Hips.
hips. Everybody knows I have an obsession with the hips and pelvis. Because I find that working on my lower pelvis helps to release my neck by taking the work back down to where it should be instead of collapsing. Okay, so we all have a couple cord blocks. We have a strap, a blanket, a bolster, a happy face. And we're starting in Supta Baddha Konasana, taking the strap around the waist, around the outsides of the feet, making sure that the belt buckle does not touch the skin, and just making sure that the belt in the back is coming down to the crack of the buttocks. So underneath the hips. And then we lay over our blocks. And just start to find your feet. So sometimes it takes a few moments, but start to look for the outsides of the feet. I'm just going to turn this music down just a tiny bit.
Good idea.
Start to connect. Thank you, Linda. With the outsides of the feet, find that back outer heel. So press your back outer heels together. And start to follow that line of awareness along the outer foot, right up into the baby toes. So take a moment to do whatever you need to do to completely connect the outsides of the feet together. So at first we actively press them together, and then we surrender, allowing the outer feet to create a deeper connection. And then start to spread the toes wide. So you'll find that the toes want to release right away. Just explore what it means for the feet to start to open and spread the toes. So that space between the fourth and the fifth toe is a direct link into the groin. So be sure that the toes have a profound influence. The feet have a profound influence on the hips. So everything's connected. And then we start to introduce the breath now. So let's take a slow, smooth inhale right up into the upper chest. Feel the upper thoracic spine, the upper chest lift through the inhale. So look for the crease of the armpit chest as the inhale lifts through that energetic crease of the armpit chest. And then start to feel the exhale as you follow through to the very end of that breath, slow and smooth. Again, slow, smooth inhale. Take your time with the breath. Allow yourself to enjoy that prana, the energy that comes to the body through the inhale. Equally slow, smooth exhale. So take your time with that breath, allowing each moment of the breath to unfold into the next. Following all the way through to the end of the exhale, starting to discover the release that comes through that piece of the breath. So So find your exhale and start to participate in the effort of releasing whatever it is you no longer need through the exhale. The body's natural tool of letting go of tension. See if you can deepen the breath. Let's take the hands to the elbows and let's reach the elbows up and overhead. See if you can widen the outermost armpit away from the center line of the body. So full deep breaths now, everybody. Allow the breath to start to travel freely through the body as it deepens. Slow, smooth exhale, following all the way through to the end of that breath, starting to release the back of the shoulders down away from the ears. But continue that sense of opening through the front. So we continue the effort of widening from the center of the armpit out to the sides, feeling the outer shoulder blades draw away from each other. Feel your inner shoulder blades start to draw in towards each other. And then we release the back of the shoulders down away from the ears. And this helps to further drop the shoulder blades in towards the spine, reversing that winging, that lifting of the shoulder blades away from the back as the front of the body curls forward. So see if you can create that vision inside the body with the breath. Widening your outer shoulder blades, widening from the center of the armpit out to the sides, widening the outer forearms. So feel those outer forearms tighten, drawing away from the center line of the body. And now lastly, let's feel those lower ribs drop down towards the hips. And see if you can tuck your sits bones in and under as though you were drawing them up towards your lower ribs. Create that connection between the ribs and the center of the buttocks. Continuing that effort of opening through the upper body. And then start to become the observer, the witness, allowing all things to join together in that place of union as one effort. No boundaries, no limitations, the mind is still. Let's take the elbows back down. Let's change the clasp from the hands to the elbows. Reach the elbows up and overhead. That's it, everybody. Nicely done. Breathe deeply. Don't allow the mind to give you too much feedback at this stage. Start to allow the breath to lead the effort. So the mind is letting go. The mind is taking a back seat to the breath now. Everybody, let's release the arms to the T position. Just bring your fingertips to the floor. And let's inhale, lift through the crease of the armpit chest. So feel the inhale, lift the the crease of the armpit chest up. Let the exhale release just the backs of the shoulders away from the ears, but continue that sense of lifting through the front. Tightening the muscles of the arms around the body. See if you can tighten your biceps, your triceps. Nicely done, everybody. Start to make our way up. Alrighty. So let's move the blocks off to the side here. Let's move the strap away. Just for a while. And then continue on this effort, but we're going to take the bolster to the wall. We're going on a little adventure here. Now the work is to get your sacrum right to the back. So notice how my first step is to bring the heels together, and then I tip forward and work that sacrum so that it's right against the back of the wall. So do that several times. Don't think that you are repeating without gaining ground, because I can assure you each time you do this, so do it a few times, bend forward, try and bring your heels together. See if you can lift your sacrum up the wall and then come back again. Good. And then let's take the hands to the thighs, and let's start to roll those thighs out. Good job. So there's the first action in Baddha Konasana, which is to externally rotate the thighs out. So roll those thighs out. Roll those thighs out some more. See if you can drop your shoulders down away from the ears. So lovely Linda. Feel free, sweetheart, to come up maybe on to one more bolster if you want to come higher.
Just a minute.
Okay, sweet thing.
Is that all right?
That is very nice, actually. But see if you can tip forward and get that sacrum even further to the wall. Nice. Good. So that's all. Roll, roll, roll those thighs out. Roll, roll, roll your thighs. Roll them out. That's it. Drop your shoulders down away from the ears. So y'all know that I'm a big fan of yoga and sound, which means that we chant in our poses. Because that exhale is what will take you to that place of bliss, I can assure you. You can't imagine how great one feels after 3 hours of yoga and sound. So we're rolling those thighs out, right guys? Rolling those thighs out, rolling those thighs out. Rolling those thighs out. Pressing through the outsides of the feet, spreading the toes wide. And now let's start to feel that second action. Okay, let's press the sacrum to the wall. So press the sacrum to the wall. That's it. So Sylvega, this is for you because I love you dearly and you said you wanted something that you felt would help me. And working on the hips is no small order. And this pose, Baddha Konasana, will profoundly affect your body and the rest of your poses. So see if you can feel those thighs rolling out, shoulders down away from the ears. Getting another bolster, lovely? And maybe take the blocks and roll them like so.
Okay.
can't keep your thighs rolling out. So I'm rolling those thighs back, shoulders down, and then the second action. Okay, let me clarify here. So the thighs rolling out means you're tucking your tailbone in and under. Scooping, scooping, scooping your tailbone in and under. But when you start to press your sacrum to the wall, that's an action that starts to untuck the pelvis. So there's a second and opposing action to further isolate the pelvis. Is everybody feeling this?
No, I don't know what you're talking
It
about.
goes away when we tuck from the...
Okay, so just press your sacrum to the wall. That a girl. Lean right to the wall. That's it. Roll your thighs out. I'm going to come around and just give you a little love. So when you roll those thighs out and press your sacrum to the wall, that's the first action. Now see if you can press your sacrum to the wall.
Ah, girl. Well, you just stay there.
I will stay there. I will stay there. That a girl, yes. So she went for the feet. Because yoga is about this and that, but we do have a tendency as we move from one cue to the next to leave the last cue. So now see if you can not only press into your sacrum, see if you can press into the right side of your sacrum and then the left side of the sacrum. Press the sacrum, press your sacrum, that's it. So if you have an imbalance in your hip, starting to look for both the left and the right side will help to create a little more opening in that side that's tighter. All right, how's everybody doing here? Good?
B.
All right.
Sorry.
So let's find the left and the right side of the sacrum. Pressing both sides of the sacrum into the floor. And now lastly, let's just add one more cue here. See if you can lengthen from your hip bone along the top of the thighs up through the kneecaps to release the knees down. I know, we want to use our shoulders. So you've got to press the shoulder blades, the sacrum into the wall. Ooh. I feel this is challenging. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, nicely done. So let's slowly lift the knees up. So we were working, and let's just move the bolster off to the side. And let's take a blanket underneath the knees. Thank you very much. And take your block out to the right. Let's step the left foot out to the left. Reach the left arm up and overhead. So good on you, Linda, for going and getting that second bolster.
Oh, I'm good looking after myself.
It was a good choice, very good choice. So see if you can take your hips forward and open your left underarm. That's it. So as the hips come forward, press through that left heel. See if you can scoop your tailbone in and under. Let's take a few deep breaths here. Open your left palm. Open your left palm. That's it. Good, honey. Hips forward. See if you can press the left foot to the floor and stretch the left hand in the opposite direction. Good. And slowly lift back up. So let's reach the right arm up. Lift through the corners of the smiley face. And then right hand over to the left. So Keep that right elbow lifting high. So the right hand comes to the left hand and the left hand comes to the left foot. Just not in my lifetime. So we're stretching the right side of the spine, in particular here from the right hip to the underarm. And we're working in micro movements to get that left hand down to the left foot and eventually bring the right hand on top of the left. Lift your belly, lift your belly, lift your belly. Good job. Let's slowly lift back up. And let's change sides. So press that outer right heel to the floor, take the hips forward, and then start to open the right underarm, open the right chest, and then create that counter stretch by pressing the right heel and reaching the right hand in the opposite direction. Good. Breathe, everybody. Full body breath. The breath is the body's natural negotiator of space. That's it. Fullness in the breath. Breathe deeply. Slowly lift back up. So let's reach the left arm up, lift up. Lift through the corners of the smiling face. Stretch, stretch. And then take the left hand over to the right. So now we're stretching the left side of the spine from the hip to the underarm. That's a lateral twist. And the beauty of this pose comes from the breath. So twists need that breath to create that detox inside. Breathe deeply, everybody. Full body breaths. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good. And then let's slowly come up. So this might be a little tricky for some of you. So just take your right knee in. We're going to do a twist or a Vajrasana. So let's start by, I haven't done this in a really long time, but I was thinking about this last night. So let's just come and see how I've got my bolster. I've turned it so that it's parallel to the outside of the mat. And I'm coming right forward. So scooch. This is the biggest problem is you don't come far enough forward. And see if you can sit on a bolster or even sit on a bolster and a block or sit on a blanket. Linda, you can take a blanket. I think that's it. Triple blanket. So double it up. Okay. Good. That's it. Does that help?
Oh, the queen needs a higher
And then
throne.
try
Yes.
and pop that foot on top. That's it. Oh, there we go.
So on one side.
Pardon me?
One side, both feet on one side of the bolster.
Yes, both feet on one side of the bolster.
Oh,
Oh, I know. Now see if you can put one foot on top of the other. That's it, Wendy. And if you need it, so you've got the wall maybe. So let's just reach the arms up. Lift and lengthen. This is a tough one. I knew this was going to be tricky. That's why I think I haven't done it well. All right, and see if you can just take your hands back into the twist. So lift through the chest. So you're going that way. Good.
Other way.
No, she's got it right. She's
Does
looking
she?
towards me, yeah. There we go.
Well, then I have it wrong. She's got it right.
No, it's opposite to your feet.
Yes,
right?
Linda, you're gonna look towards me, my love.
Oh,
Look towards me.
Yes, ma'am.
No,
With your
the
hand.
left hand, there we go. Linda, reach your arms up like this. Then take the right hand back.
Oh.
Left arm forward.
Completely screwed.
And then lift through the crease of the armpit chest. Good job. There. And she's now looking enlightened too. I know, I knew this would be a tough one. All right. How about we just move on to the other side? So let's just come forward. And just bring your feet like so.
Only
So
when-
I always do that side
Why,
first, it's easier.
Only we get comfortable, we move.
Darn it. Okay. All right. So let's reach the arms up. So lift and lengthen, lift and lengthen, lift and lengthen. We're going to wait for Sylvania. Lift,
No, don't
lift, lift. So see if you can tuck that right sits bone and drop it down. And then lift up. That's it. Nice, Wendy. Oh. All right, so right arm forward, left arm back. Let's look to the left. Good.
I'm doing the
Nice.
opposite.
You guys can do whatever you want.
I just want to confuse.
You know what? You just want to look at each other. Longingly, exactly. Longingly. So lift. That's apparently what Leonardo da Vinci was able to do, is paint these faces that had this mystery and longing, these emotions inside of them. Lift through the crease of the armpit chest. So I'm going to allow Sylvia to tell us when we should come out. Sylvia. Sylvia, what do you think?
Fine.
I think that.
Okay, let's come out. What do you say? Do we have permission to come out? All right, let's slowly release. Holy cow. Okay, can we come forward now? Let's just move the bolster off to the side. And what do you say we all take a downward dog with the ropes? Because we've been twisting. So let's remove the memory of the twist from the spine. So everybody come on up. And let's cross our ropes. Right foot through the rope you're holding with the left hand. Right on. Okie dokie. So lovely Linda, if this bothers your legs, you let me know. Okay? Okay, let's come down. So the closer your feet are together, the harder the pose. The more advanced the pose becomes. The lower the heels are, the more the pose becomes advanced. So if you're a beginner, you want to open your feet and have your heels high so the hips are really high to accommodate the tightness in your hamstring. And then let's walk the hands forward. And see if you can start to gently press and connect the heels to the wall. So feel your heels connect and press actively to the wall. And let's lift the chest as though you were trying to reach your armpits towards your hands. It never hurts to take that moment and look at your hands and see where they're placed on your mat so that you can start to rewrite some of the memories in the body that aren't serving you. So we don't want to reinforce imbalance. We want to start to further that journey of awareness so that we can rewrite some of those natural imbalances and make them right. All in this ahimsa way this non-harming way, where the mind is nice and easy and the breath is leading the effort. So we allow the breath to perform its magic. Let's all together press with the heels, lift your chest towards your hands. Shoulders are drawing down away from the ears and the outer forearms are drawing in towards each other. So as we feel the chest, the armpit chest reaching forward, the lower ribs start to move in the opposite direction towards the pelvis, towards the hips. See if you can create that two-directional stretch through the front of the body. So feel your chest reach forward. Feel your lower ribs draw towards your hips. Outer forearms in, and now let's take the sits bones to the heels. So scoop both of your sits bones down to the heels. And let the breath perform its magic. Let the breath start to travel more and more freely through the body. So in order to do that, there's a sense of softening the body to receive the breath without letting go of all of these actions inside the body. Breathe deeply. Let the breath perform its duty. Bringing that balance back to the body. And as it wipes the mind clear of all that clutter, it brings balance back to the mind. And so we can unite the spirit and create that union, that yoga, that yoking. See if you can let your head and your chest drop just a little. You all right there, Sylvia?
Yep.
So if you're doing this pose freestanding, we're working toward holding the pose for a minimum of 5 minutes.
Oh, good.
And if you're not there yet, you're just coming in and out of the child's pose, returning back to the downward dog pose. Okay, let's move slowly as we walk the hands to the feet, feet to the hands. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Okay. So let's come out of the ropes. So this next movement is inspired by my lovely second mother, Solvega. We haven't done it in a while, but we're going to do it today. So, we're going to start in Virasana. If you haven't done Virasana, I recommend that you sit on a block. We're we're going to bring the knees together so that the sits bones are dropping inside the inner ankles. Number one priority is no sensation in the knees. No sensation in the knees.
That's a priority.
That's priority number one, and I can help you if you need me. You need me?
What do you mean, no sensation?
Meaning you don't want to have any pain, any feeling like your knees are
that's
torn.
pain. Yeah.
Knees don't stretch. Knees don't stretch. Okay, I'm going to go a little step further here.
I don't have bad knees yet.
I know that you have the tops of your feet.
Just
wait, one day.
So see if you can
That's better.
sit on either side of that, either knees forward.
But
No? Okay.
this goes back here.
Well, you're going to have your feet hanging off here.
Oh, I see.
So you're going to come forward. That girl. Right forward. Good. Now sit on the block. Okay.
You want me to sit on two?
Well, if you don't want to, you can sit just like that. You all right there?
No.
Is that too high?
That's very nice.
Okay, now let's bring the knees together. Good
Oh.
job. Knees together. And then see if you can take your hands and just lengthen your knees from your shins. That's it. And I like to get a second stretch in there. I take my hands underneath my feet to gently try and press the tops of the ankles down. See if you can press the tops of your ankles down. And let's lift up through the crease of the armpit chest. Good. So we're just trying to press the tops of the ankles to the floor. See if you can tuck, 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 as though you were trying to grip the block with your sit bones. And then here's something really fun for you. Just gently explore this, please. So let's do the right side first. Imagine trying to lift your right knee slightly off the ground. So just the knee. So
Just not imagine it or do it.
just create that action inside. So we don't actually have to lift the knee. Let's start to feel that sense. What happens to your sits bones when you try and lift that right knee? Exactly. So it deepens the action in the hip. Very nice. Let's do the other side. Let's lift the left knee. We're all looking enlightened here. So we create the action of just trying to lift the knee slightly. And then let's try and lift both knees. Both knees. Yes. Try not to lean back too much. That's it. So we're trying to lift both knees. That's it. Can you feel your hips?
Yep.
Can anybody not feel their hips?
I don't.
Tuck, tuck, tuck. Tuck, tuck, tuck.
I don't want to.
I don't want to. Okay, so remember what we were doing years ago? So some of you are going to bring a right leg forward. So Hank, what's bothering you? The tops of your ankles?
My feet are falling asleep.
Yeah, okay, so you're working really hard. Okay, so just relax. Come and sit on a foam block. Come and sit on a block and a blanket. So add a blanket on top of your block.
Really?
Because we're going to go a step further. So let's take the right leg forward. And we're going to take the strap around the ball of the right foot. And then let's bring the elbows so that they're right in towards the torso. If you can't do that, you're just bringing a bolster. Your leg on. No, but or a bolster is also fine. But the action, very nice. So this is going to be the strength that's required. See if you can bring your elbows a little further back and lift up. That's it. So this is going to be harder than it looks, pretty darn fast.
You can do it.
2 hands, just close. Okay. Yep, 2 hands, let it go. See if you can draw those elbows in, lift to the crease of the armpit chest. Straighten the right leg completely. That's it.
How do I feel that in my left hip?
Yeah. It's a hip opener.
I'm feeling it in my left hip. When I lift this my right leg, which was weird.
Okay, so Just try to be a little bit patient here. This is a tough one. This is really a tough one.
This is good for you.
You were doing that very well.
Yes, that very positive reinforcement.
When
you were
we-
doing that very well.
We
That's the only
did
thing.
better than the guy. Remember?
So try to lift your belly. Try to not lean back too much. That's it.
We beat
So
him.
you're going to start to feel the right leg, correct? So that right thigh should be working a little bit here. Good job, Sylvia.
Know this.
So we're just taking a break if you need to. Just try to explore what this is. So the pose in its full form would be Kranchasana, where we're taking the shin to the head, but since none of us are there yet,
Next
and we
year.
want to create that hinge in the hip, it's a hip opener. So the shoulders drop down, the elbows draw in, that's it. So here's the philosophy part that went with the study of this pose. So there's going to be a time when you're going to feel some pain. See if you can draw a boundary around that area. Sweet. That girl. Nice. It's a sweet pain, exactly. It is a sweet pain, and I'll tell you why. If you have trouble with your hips like I do, it will reduce that pain later dramatically, as I said. We did this pose when I was in Germany in a teacher training. And we flew home that night, and I had no pain in my hip while we were traveling, which was extremely unusual, because I have a very difficult time sitting. Anyway, I highly recommend this pose. So just keep that right thigh, Linda, working. Try to keep your right kneecap and your thigh lifting. That's why the legs pull, resting on the bolster so that you can at least feel the actions in the thigh, in the hip. Oh. Has anybody had enough yet? Okay, I have. So everybody, take your hand, your right hand, and see if you can reach your left arm up. Get as high as you can, that's it. And now let's take the left hand to the outer right foot. You see how I collapsed here? That's why I take the strap, reach the right arm up, lift, 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 right arm up, drop the right hip. Right arm up, Wendy, up first. Drop the right hip. That's it. And then let's take the right arm back without dropping and collapsing. Shoulders down, elbows up. Shoulders down, elbows up. Inner thighs together. See if you can reach to the ball of the right foot, spread the toes. Good. And then let's come forward. So it's up to you if you'd like to stay here or not. So for Triangular Paschimottanasana, you can either stay here and pull forward. If you would like to deepen this movement, you can come down a little lower. It's totally up to you. You want to maybe make sure that the hips are level, so you might want to put something slightly under the right sits bone. And then let's start to fold forward here. That's it, Linda. Lift your belly. So you see how I'm using my right hand to start. And I'm untucking this right sits bone. And then we just let the breath perform its magic. So we reach the ball of that right foot slightly forward, and this will help to release the top of the right thigh down into the floor. The inner left groin is releasing down. We lift through the side crease of the armpit chest. And then one day we fold forward from the hinge of the hip. See if you can draw your outer hips in, outer hips in. Breathe deeply, everyone. This feels extremely good today, doesn't it?
It feels very painful.
But sweet.
Sweet.
Sweet, it is. It's a bit sweet, I know. All right, very nicely done. So let's lift the right leg, and let's just come forward here. So this would be that same twist. Just for a moment, we're just twisting. Okay. All right, T. So let's come forward here. And let's come and take our downward dog. Let's just flush out that side. So cross your ropes. Right foot into the rope that you're holding with your left. That's it. You don't even have to move your step, lovely Linda. Oh, that a girl. Good job. Open those hips. You'll get there again. You'll get there again. All right.
I said I can't wait.
Oh, good for you. All right, she can't wait to get there yet. That's nice, I like that. All right. So we're just removing the memory of what we just did. We're stretching the spine long. Removing the memory of any twists. And we're finding those heels again. See if you can press your heels and lift your chest. Letting your lower ribs drop towards your hips. So look for those outer heels. So start to feel a sense of actively feeling your outer heels press into the wall. And then let's slowly walk the hands to the feet, into the hands. And let's come back down to our happy house. All right. So we're going to start again in Virasana. Having a hair malfunction here. Alright. So just come and sit on your core block or add a blanket, add whatever you feel is going to release any tension in your knees to start, because the feeling will only deepen and quite quickly, and you just don't want to stretch your knees. I don't think the knees need to be stretched. See if you can start to press to the tops of your ankles and create that sense of lifting your knees. Try not to lean back. if you need a bolster or a blanket because you don't have that strength in your thighs. Just feeling that connection as the sits bones tuck and grow roots to the block. And we're lifting up. So I don't know about y'all, but I can definitely feel a difference between my hips for certain. Okay. So let's take.
Could you explain what that means, a difference between my hips?
Yeah, I can feel one hip is really tight when I try and tuck it in and under, and one feels easily to move. So just the action, I can feel tightness in one side and not on the other.
That's a serious problem.
All right, let's take the strap now around the ball of the left foot. So you can see I'm not holding it like this. I want 2 hands, elbows, so that the elbows are drawing in. We're lifting up, and then the hardest part is to straighten the left leg. So when you feel that you can't manage that, this is a start, but you must maintain that action of lifting the kneecap and the thigh, working through the ball of the foot to spread the toes, so to intelligize that left leg.
Love this pose.
That's great. That's great.
You love too.
We all love it. You know why we love it? Because it's a great hip opener. So we can see, that these two actions are opposing actions. Can you imagine laying back? So the next step would be to lay back and keep right on the ground, so no block. And you can see this is elusive for me, but I would have to completely lift my knee up and then we would come down. This is what we were doing in the workshop, and it was completely out of my realm, right?
Next leg.
That's right, next leg. And we just do what we can.
There's no need to go too far.
No, well, we're just working in the early stages, lifting the thigh and the kneecap. And I forgot the last part. What's the most important cue? Looking ridiculously happy. Simone's taken that to a whole new level, hasn't she? That cue is from Ramanand Patel.
They smile.
Yes, please. Do not look grumpy and do not look like this is, the
Smile.
worst challenge in life.
Sun is
Mine is
shining.
lying to you, if that's what you're thinking. All right. So remember, eventually we're working that left shin towards the forehead, and we're creating that crease right in that left hip. Take a break. So the first time we approach something like this pose, it's tough, eh? I know. So let me tell you the story of how I explored this pose for the first time. We are all together and we come onto one side, and my teacher says to everybody, all right, once you're done, you're done. So once you drop your leg, you're done. So the legs slowly started to drop over time. It was a long hold for each side, a long hold. But as I said, the enlightenment came that day when I flew home, and on that 9-hour flight for the first time I had no pain in my right hip. And I went, well, this is a secret pose. This is a very therapeutic pose for the hips and for the hamstrings. It helps to strengthen the quadricep muscle, doesn't it, Linda?
Maybe.
So can you feel your left thigh a lot? Because you should feel your left thigh a lot.
Me?
It should be running into that hip.
No, it's my right thigh.
Okay. So
That's
you're
talking to me.
You're getting a stretch through the right quadricep muscle. Nice. Nice. Woo! Done. All right. So take the straps in the left hand. Let's reach the right arm up. So drop your left hip as you lift and lengthen. Drop your left hip. Right hand to the outer left foot. Now take the left arm up. Lift again. Drop the shoulders. Lift and lengthen. Drop the left hip. Left arm back. Shoulders down, elbows up, so lift through the crease of the armpit chest. Breathe deeply. And then let's release the left leg down. So we're going to fold forward into Triangle Utkapada Paschimottanasana. If you want to come off your blocks and come a little lower, you want to make sure that you can maintain that level in both hips. So the levelizing of the hips. Levelize the hips. Is that a word?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. So let's try to fold forward here. So don't let your knees spray out if you can manage. Try to lift through the left thigh. And we're creating this hinge from the hip. Lifting the belly up. So I've supported on this side because this hip is so much tighter that when I drop down you can see the hip is much higher on the right side. So a little love on that left side. And if you have a hamstring issue, turning the leg out slightly will release the hamstring and you can focus more on the hinge and the hip.
I don't think my body has a hinge.
I don't think my body has a hinge. That is a good statement. That's funny. Well, we need to look into how to acquire that hinge in the body. She did a very good job though. She referred to the body as the body, not my body. It's not my knee. It's the body, the mind. Creating that distinction and separation. I am not my mind and I am not my body. Okay, so let's slowly come out of this pose. Just bring the left knee forward. And let's come into the child's pose, extending the arms forward. So Adho Mukha Virasana. Bring your knees apart, feet together. So the toes are touching, and then stretch the arms forward and just take that look, that moment of observation to see where everything is aligning, so that you reinforce the positive alignment of the body. Then press the palms and push your hips down to your heels. Lift your belly without releasing the chest from the lower, from the thighs. So I highly recommend this pose for long periods of time on your own. So let's lift the hips, and we're coming into downward dog, Adho Mukha Shavasana. So this is how we measure the distance for ourselves. The distance between my hands and feet are exactly as measured from Adho Mukha Virasana. So we tuck the toes, lift the hips, and right away look at your feet and make sure that the feet are parallel to the outsides of the mat. So that means that those toes should be turning ever so slightly in, and the inner and outer heels are lengthening back as they start to narrow at that point. So the base of the foot becomes wider as the heel becomes more narrow. See if you can create that sense of lifting and stretching your toes forward. So there isn't just a spreading through the balls of the feet, the toes are also lengthening. And they're lengthening through the back of the heel as well. So it's not just a widening through the base of the foot, but also a lengthening from the front to the back. The inner thighs are drawing back, the outer hips are drawing back, the fronts of the thighs are drawing back. So once that starts to take place, see if you can lift your heels without taking your hips forward. Without taking your sacrum forward, slowly lift your heel. So as you gently lift your heels, pull back through your hips to prevent that inclination of allowing the sacrum to migrate forward. And then take the heels down. Shoulders are dropping away from the ears, so the creases of those inner elbows are rolling gently up, and then the outer forearms draw in to lock the shoulders down away from the ears. Lift your kneecaps, lift the tops of your thighs. All right, so we're walking our hands to our feet. Our feet should be slightly wider than our hips. And now let's all bend the knees. This is very challenging for me. And start to take your lower ribs to your thighs. So we want to connect the ribs down to the hips by dropping the ribs onto the thighs. And then let's take the hands behind the back of the legs to try to get those two connections. Lower ribs are touching the thighs, and then we start to straighten the legs slowly without letting those ribs move away from the thighs. So as you start to slowly straighten your legs, imagine taking your lower ribs towards your hips.
What do you do with stomach?
You can lift your belly, taking your lower ribs down towards your hips. And this will create that deeper hinge. Very nice, everybody. And then let's slowly come up. Whew. Great job. Great job. How's everybody doing here? Okay. So let's just see where we're at. Okay. So I had said to myself, I think we should do some standing poses today. What do you say? But I also thought we should also do some poses on the belly. So let's just take the blocks here, and we're going to do one of Linda's favorites, and take the right foot, straight back, and see if you can align your left hip on top of your left ankle, straightening the right leg.
You come up with
So we won't do the first part so much. Let's try and take your left hand to your left hip. So on these standing poses, there's a tendency for the left hip to stick out. So we want to start to tuck that left sit bone in and under. So you can see I take my left thumb into the crease of that left hip to draw the left hip back and tuck the left sit bone in and under. So we want to keep that left sit bone tucking in and under as we reach the chest forward, pressing through the right heel. And then let's take the left arm straight forward. So press through the right heel, reach the left arm forward, lift your chest. Try not to release that left sits bone, tucking in and under. Very nice. Let's take the left hand to the block and we're turning the right foot out 90 degrees. So try not to lose that left sits bone, tucking in and under as we come into Ardha Chandrasana. So it's up to you what level you would like your block. Let's lift the right arm up and see if you can press through that right heel. So the left sits bone is tucking in and under, the left gluteus medius is drawing in, and that right outer right buttocks cheek is also working, drawing in. So as you press through the heels, lengthen from the center down. So from the lower back down through the crack of the buttocks, right down through that center, between the buttocks cheeks. Lengthening that area, reaching the right arm up. See if you can lift your right heel a little and press through your heels. That's it. One more time, let's lift the right leg, press through the heel. Outer buttocks, cheeks are drawing in. Very nicely done, everybody. Okay. Let's take the right hand down, let's take the right leg down. Let's bend the knees again. Let's drop the ribs onto the thighs. Let's take the hands behind the lower back. So make that connection. And then let's start to straighten the legs. So moving only so long as you can keep that connection. And then let's slowly come up again. Good job, everybody. Whew. So let's find that alignment this time. Let's take the left foot back. So again, we're working to try and tuck this right sits bone, to draw that right sits bone so we don't stick the head of the humerus out. We want to draw it back. Tucking that right sits bone in and under, and then lifting and lengthening. Lift your belly, lift through the crease of the armpit chest. Pressing through your heels more and more and more. See if you can reach the right arm forward. So press through your left heel, reach your right arm forward. Right sits bone tucks in, right hip draws back towards the inner left heel. Lengthening through the sides of the body. So lengthen through the crease of the armpit chest, press through your heels. Nicely done. So let's take the right hand down. Don't lose that right tucking. And let's open the left leg into Ardha Chandrasana as you lift the arm up. So right sits bone draws back, left sits bone draws in, pressing through the heels. Imagine that length traveling from the center of your lower back down through the crack of the buttocks. So lengthening that area as you draw your outer buttocks cheeks in, pressing through the outer heels. See if you can lift your left leg a little further, and then again, press through those heels. So working the outer gluteus medius in, contain your pelvis. Shoulders down away from the ears. And see if you can lift again, one more time. Lift through your Lift that left leg up and then lengthen through the crease of the armpit chest. Press through your heels. Good job, everybody. Left hand down, good job. Left foot down. Let's bring both big toe knuckles together as we drop the knees down and open the knees wide, open your heels wide. And let's press those inner heels down. So we're pressing through the big toes, pressing your inner heels down to the floor. Press your inner heels down to the floor. You're good. Are you getting a stretch there?
Or are you just, it's balance actually. Balance, I got your balance.
Yes, balance. Press your inner heels down, press your inner heels down. Alrighty. And then let's drop the knees down. And let's come down onto the belly here. Laniga's favorite. So let's bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. Let's bring the feet together. And press through the tops of the feet as you lift your kneecaps. So it's very important to find the backs of those feet. It took me 10 years to be able to press the backs of the feet to the floor. So I just did not have the strength or the flexibility. So you start to look, you can feel, if you could see what I was actively doing with my feet, I'm trying to press those feet more and more, wiggling my toes around, trying to get both feet flat and even. And then let's draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Draw the back of the forearm straight back. Pull the body forward. So lovely Linda.
No.
That's a harder pose that you're doing. Do you want to do that one too? We can.
I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just here.
Elbows under your shoulders.
You're good. Okay. All right, do you want to do some fun stuff?
Okay, here.
There we go.
Okay.
Shoulders down, press through the elbows. That's it. So David, that's the chicken look. See if you can lift your head. Bring your elbows further forward. That's it. Now lift your head some more. Press through your elbows. Lift your head. Draw your shoulder blades down away from your ears. That's it. Lift your chin. Shoulder blades together. Press through your elbows, drop your shoulders. Alright, I haven't done this in class before, so let's just see how it goes. So just give yourself a little cradle underneath your forehead. Let's bend the legs and just point your toes. See if you can let your hips drop down. So point your toes, that's it. See if you can create that sense of the toes starting to lift as your hips drop. So the toes are getting lighter and lighter as though the feet were starting to elevate upwards and the hips were dropping down. See if you can feel a sense of your outer buttocks, cheeks drawing in. So contain both hips as though they were one pelvis as they are. So unite the two. Very nicely done. So let your feet be nice and soft. Let your hips drop as though your toes were lifting up. Hips are releasing down towards the floor. And then just lift your head. It's not as easy as it looks, is it? So see if you can draw your heels closer towards you, keeping those toes heading up. That's it. Okay, let's flex the feet. Release your head, flex your feet, and then point. Flex your feet and point. Flex your feet and point. So keep going. Try to move both feet together. Good job, you guys. Can you feel your hips yet? All right, let's take the left hand to the left foot. And let's extend the right leg long. And let's reach the right arm forward, lift the forehead, look straight down. See if you can lengthen your right leg from behind your right buttocks. See if you can lengthen your right arm from the bottom of that right shoulder blade. Good job. Let's take the right hand back to meet the left. And let's release the left leg, flying like Superman, looking straight down. Let's bring the legs together. See if you can lift the back of the forearms up. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Let's bring the hands forward, bend your knees as you drop your forehead. Take your toes up towards the sky. Just gently lift your head. So see if you can pull the body forward, dropping your shoulders down. That's it. So you feel, you got it. It doesn't matter how you do it, Wendy, as long as you're dropping your hips. That's it. So in order to grab the leg, we have to have some length through here. And you can see a lot of us are missing that. And I'm a classic example because you can see as I reach back for my foot, I can barely grab it. So let's grab the right foot, and let's extend the left leg, reach the left arm, look straight down. So let's lengthen the left toes, reach out to the left fingertips, and then let's lengthen that left leg from behind that left pelvic girdle, behind the left buttocks. And now let's lengthen that left arm from the bottom of that left shoulder blade. Breathe deeply, everybody. Full body breath. Let's release the right foot, take the left hand back to meet the right. Let's bring the legs together, lift the forearms, looking straight down. Shalabhasana. Let's drop the legs, see if you can press through the tops of the feet, lift the kneecaps, lift the tops of the forearms up, look straight down. And then let's take the hands underneath the shoulders. Let's draw the shoulders back as we press through the palms. All right. Hands to the lower ribs. Let's gently press up here. So can everybody feel their lower back? Let's take the bolster. So to release the lower back from that work, we bring the bolster between the inner thighs. And you can see I'm turning my bolster up because I need a lot of support. And then folding over the bolster, let's bring the right cheek to the bolster. So the bolster is completely supporting the spine. And then we can release the spine into the bolster. So if you're kind of hanging midway, maybe you need to take a blanket or 2 or 3. Linda, see if you can drop it.
What?
Popped up like a jackpot. Drop your hips like that. That's how I want you to be.
Oh,
Yes. So even, you'll see. I'm going to give you a second bolster. You need it. Don't lift your hips, lovely. And just fold over that. Yes. There. Good job.
customized.
Customized. That's right. We have to customize. That is such a good point. We have to customize to the uniqueness of everybody, not just one. So some things are naturally elusive, some things are God-given. So we just are grateful for what we have, and let's focus on taking the breath right up into the upper cervical spine. So deep breath, completely surrendering the torso to the bolster. So let's lift the head and bring the left cheek to the bolster. And then let's slowly lift the head, lift the chest. Let's turn the bolster lengthwise. So if you feel like you might need a lot of support, like I typically do, you can use a blanket on top. If you need more support or less. And let's take the blocks forward here, and we're going to bring the right leg all the way over the bolster and flex that right foot so we dig the heel into the bolster. So it's a hip opener for the right side. That's it. So you've got to hug that right heel into the bolster. That's it. Oh, Linda's 2 bolsters would never hurt you.
It's a lot of work. What's that? Isn't that good?
I want to make it a little more loving for you, but that's okay.
Okay.
Let me just do that for you. Stay right there and see if you can get this really neat. Here we go.
Thank you.
There.
I'm not doing that. I feel a juice.
See if you can take your left hip and draw it towards your right heel. So we want both of the hips in line. We're not torquing that left isolated joint by having the hip back behind the right. See if you can press into the top of the left foot and squeeze that left buttocks and draw the right hip to that left foot. Lifting through the crease of the arc of the chest. So you said hips. So we're sort of doing the hips today. How are you doing, lovely Linda?
What am I doing?
How are you?
How am I? I don't really know. ask that question. I figured just keep going.
You know what, that's it. We don't need anybody to ask us how we are. Everything is fine. That's what my teacher said to me once. Well, he said it in front of everybody, but it resonated that one moment. He said, everything is fine. Everything is going to be fine. We would have these pretty heavy-duty philosophy sessions in the evening, and people would speak about, real-life issues. And he always ended with, everything is fine. And in that moment, I agreed. It was fine, and then I was able to say, yes, everything is going to be fine.
Those are blessings we can still do.
Everything is fine. Everything
It's
is
fine.
A-okay. So do you think we hold our past in our hips? Our past relationships in our hips?
God help me.
Do we need hips?
Do we need hips?
It would be so easy without.
So have we made a little headway, you think? Should we do the other side? Yeah, thank you. All right. So at some point, the whole thing becomes intolerable, right? The mind starts to, and this is when we say, okay, it's the law of diminishing returns. At some point, we say, we're going to move on here. And so we do. So again, we're digging that heel to the bolster, eventually connecting the heel to the hip so that there's no light going through this area. But until I can create that connection, I've got the filler to join the two. And then the right hip is coming to that left heel so we don't torque the SI joints. And then we press through the top of that right foot. You can see how my right leg wants to spray out. So the work is to lengthen through the inside of that right leg. And so the story goes. We lift, that's it, lift through the crease of the armpit chest. So Ekapada Rajakapotasana is a back bend. It is not a forward fold. That's more of a thigh stretch. So one's a forward bend, one is a back bend. And we need more back bends. So resist that folding forward in this pose. And it's usually tough because it comes at the end of the practice, right? So we want to fold forward, we're tired. You felt in the last pose, I can feel everybody starting to really let go. So the inclination is let's fall forward, but let's not. Let's drop the shoulders, lift through the crease of the armpit chest. So it's a double back bend. We're opening through the front pelvic area as well as the upper chest. Number 1, number 2, disease center for both genders in North America. All right, ladies. What do you say we can do a downward dog at any time? I'm going to leave this with you. Everybody wants to linger. You want to linger? Linger. So it's up to you whether you'd like a downward dog, freestanding without the ropes, or if you would like to go from the floor, your feet are together, your knees are wide, the hands are forward. We'll take a quick look to see where everything's at. So that little moment of observation, let's lift the hips, tuck the toes, in and under, or take your ropes. Let's lift the kneecaps up, everybody. Lift your kneecaps, lift the tops of your thighs. And then the work really begins when we start to engage those legs a lot. So the outer hips are drawing back, the inner thighs are drawing back, the fronts of the thighs are drawing back. The kneecaps and the tops of the thighs are lifting. And then we work a little harder because we're near the end of our pose. This is the last downward dog of our class. So see if you can, without letting your sacrum come forward, gently lift your heels. So micro movements, and create that sense of pulling your hips back to maintain the sacrum. And then take your heels down. Shoulders are away from the ears and the outer forearms are drawing in. Outer hips draw in. And then one day we're just resting. And when you're ready, you're going to slowly come down. And let's take the legs up the wall in Viparita Kamani. So let's take the bolster so that it's about 4 inches from the wall. Blanket behind so the creases of the edges of the blanket are facing in. And then let's get both of our sits bones to the wall. Shoulders down and the legs come up last. And here we are. Let's bring the elbows so that they are in the cactus position. So we want those sits bones falling slightly down the back of the bolster and the heels are reaching up. Uh-oh. So we're officially finished here. But I've heard that BKS Iyengar felt that this pose, Viparita Kamani, could substitute for Shavasana. So today, this is our Shavasana, unless you have a need, a sense of wanting to lay flat.
Okay.
So let's just take a moment here and understand the value of inversions like downward dog or bringing your legs up. So the head is now lower than the heart. And we're reversing the flow of all the fluids in the body. And this becomes a recharging of the central nervous system.
Oh, what a relief.
But more importantly, everybody, as I was in this pose when students first started arriving and someone said, you're hanging like a bat. So bats hang upside down, and they are one of the few mammals like us, warm-blooded animals that do not have autoimmune disease, no arthritis, no MS. And the studies are showing very clearly that inversions reduce glutamine and plaque in the brain on an MRI. So that's really what represents disease for us. And simply inverting the legs for about 20 minutes a day can go a long way toward keeping that disease at bay, eradicating maybe what's forming. And then the flip bonus, the icing on the cake, is that we have this sense of profound well-being that comes from having our legs up the wall. So the more elevated, the higher the bolster, the more you're going to feel this through the sides of the back. And it certainly helps to identify a scoliosis or a shortening on one side and can help toward creating more of a balanced torso. And you will start to feel this. Just lingering in the pose for long periods will help you to find that journey of awareness, because the feedback becomes quite apparent as we linger. So feel free to linger as long as you like in this pose. This is our Shavasana. I'm just going to come out and just check everybody, and I think for the most part you can come out and come up to an easy seated position when you feel ready.